Symbolic of President Trump's combative style of politics, the White House has installed new plaques beneath photos of former leaders on Trump's presidential Walk of Fame at the White House. The move is a sharp departure from a tradition. Both Democrats and Republicans have traditionally viewed the historic building as a symbol of national unity, but Trump seems keen to deepen his fingerprints on the White House aesthetic and rewrite history to his liking. The plaque beneath former President Joe Biden's photo reads, "Sleepy Joe Biden was by far the worst president in American history." It also falsely accuses him of winning the most corrupt election ever and claims he made unprecedented use of the auto pen. Biden is the only president not to have a portrait and is instead represented by a photo of an auto pen. Another plaque calls Barack Obama one of the most divisive presidents in history and accuses him of presiding over a stagnant economy. Even former President George W. Bush, a fellow Republican but not a Trump supporter, does not escape criticism. His plaque says Bush started wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, both of which should not have happened. Another Republican icon, Ronald Reagan, has been painted as a fan of a younger Trump. However, Trump's own plaque showers him with praise. Trump is credited with unveiling what has been labeled as the golden age of America. He's also credited with ending 8 wars in 8 months, securing the border, and drawing trillions of dollars in new investment. Further, the introductory plaque tells passers-by the Presidential Walk of Fame was conceived, built, and dedicated by Trump as a tribute to past presidents, good, bad, and somewhere in the middle. Trump in September refashioned the colonnade that runs from the West Wing to the White House residence. Apart from the Walk of Fame and its new plaques, Trump has adorned the Oval Office in gold and raised the East Wing in preparation for a massive ballroom. The additions, first seen publicly on Wednesday, marked Trump's latest efforts to remake the White House. The move marks an unprecedented break from convention and signals the dawn of a new era of divisive and polarized politics here in the United States. All right, for more on this, we are being joined by Christopher Hale, a Democrat strategist. He has worked for Presidents Obama and Biden as well in the White House and on the campaign trail. Christopher, welcome back to WION. What is President Trump trying to do here with these plaques, and how is it being received by the American public?
I think he's bored. I think that quite honestly, he's bored of being president. He's very quickly becoming a lame duck president. And so he, as you notice, he's trying to add on to the White House with this ballroom, which will double the size of the White House. It's actually bigger than the infrastructure that exists right now. And this silly project, this vanity project, his press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, said that he personally wrote the screeds for 47 presidents. What is this man doing with his time? It's being received very poorly here in the United States, most importantly among the MAGA base. We've seen a steady decline in the president's polls here stateside, but most importantly, those polls are decreasing among his base, the Republican Party, and the MAGA base as well. And that's really around affordability. President was elected on affordability. Prices were too high after the COVID catastrophe here in the United States and around the world. And the perception was that President Biden and Vice President Harris did not do enough to attack that crisis. But Donald Trump's not doing anything. And so we've seen the lowest approval ratings that he's had during his 2 terms as president at this point in time. And I think stuff like this is not helping. I have not seen a single mainstream Republican or an influential MAGA voice defend this.
And perhaps it's an indication of the sign of our times about a certain kind of politics emanating here in the United States. So much decisiveness, really.
It's upsetting. I mean, I think that I'm 36, so I grew up in the era of 9/11, and knowing that post 9/11 era where President George W. Bush and eventually the House Majority Leader and then the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, had that strong relationship. There was a sense that we worked together for the betterment of the country. In this era, that seems quaint. And it seems like something that's not coming back anytime soon. Obviously, we're fueled by algorithms, which monetize and reward rage. But yeah, I think a lot of us, maybe I hopefully think a majority of us, when we get offline, desire a country that is unified, that
Mm-hmm.
can work on key issues. And the question is how can we take this inner desire of the American people and bring it externally, bring it into our system of governance, bring it into our politics.
Yeah, such an important point. And finally, how do you think this move will be rated in history?
It won't last next president, even if a Republican president comes in. I
Mm-hmm.
think that all these the walk of shame, the presidential walk of shame, if the ballroom isn't finished, I think those things will go away. I think that the vast majority of the American people do not like what the president's doing to the edifice of the White House, do not like what he's doing in the policies inside the White House, and are looking for a reset. So I imagine what's going to happen, and we'll start next November. We've already seen Republicans underperforming their 2024 marks by 15 points. I think it'll be a blue landslide next November, and Trumpism will be on the way out.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all of that, Christopher Hale, joining us this morning on WION. I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you so much.